Hello students, today we are going to learn about a router. A router is a device like a switch that routes data packets based on their IP addresses. Router is mainly a network layer device. Routers normally connect LAN and WAN together and have a dynamically updating routing table based on which they make decisions on routing the data packets. Router divide broadcast domain of host connected through it. A router is a device which connects different network frequently over a large distances. A router is a device that forwards data packets between computer networks, creating an overlay internet. A router is connected to two or more data lines from different networks. When a data packet comes in one of the line, the router reads the address information in the packet to determine its ultimate destination. A data packet is typically forwarded from one router to another through the network that constitute the internet until it gets to its destination node. It contains a routing table in which all information about address of connected network. Now, the advantage of routers. Routers are used to segment large networks into internetworks made up of smaller network. Routers and switches are often used in combination. Routers can connect different network architectures such as Ethernet and token ring. Routers can choose the best path across the network using dynamic routing techniques. Routers can reduce network traffic because they do not retransmit network broadcast traffic. Now, the disadvantage of routers. They operate based on routable network protocols. They are expensive compared to other network devices. Dynamic router communication can cause additional network overhead. This results into less bandwidth for user data. They require considerable amount of initial configuration. They are protocol dependent devices. That means which must understand the protocol they are forwarding. There are two types of routing, that is static routing and dynamic routing. Static routing is a process in which we have to manually add routers in routing table. The advantages of the static routing are as follows. No routing overhead for router CPU, which means a cheaper router can be used to do routing. It adds security because only administrator can allow routing to particular networks only. No bandwidth usage between the routers. Now, the disadvantage of static routing are as follows. For a large network, it is a hectic task, which means a cheaper router can be used to do routing. It adds security. The disadvantage of the statistic routing are as follows. For a large network, it is a hectic task for administrator to manually add each router for the network in the routing table on each router. The administrator should have good knowledge of the topology. If a new administrator comes, then he has to manually add each route, so he should have a very good knowledge of the routes of the topology. Now, what do you mean by a dynamic routing? Dynamic routing makes automatic adjustment of the routes according to the current state of the route in the routing table. Dynamic routing uses protocols to discover network destination and the routes to reach it. Automatic adjustment will be made to reach the network destination if one route goes down. A dynamic protocol have the following features. The routers should have the same dynamic protocol running in order to exchange the routes. When a router finds a change in the topology, then the router advertises it to all other routers. Now the advantages of the dynamic routing are as follows. It is easy to configure, most effective at selecting the best route to a destination, remote network, and also for discovering a remote network. The disadvantages are as follows. It consumes more bandwidth for communicating with other neighbors. It is less secure than the statistic routing.